And we made it. We are here on the 6th episode of Prep Talk Live. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Casey with Cascadia Dispatch. Joining me, as always, is Cliff, the Urban Prepper. What is up, Tup? We just lost Tup. This is so sad. We had Tup, and now we have lost him. I don't know what has happened. Hopefully, he will return shortly and quickly. In the meantime, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. As you may have noticed, we've got some new stuff for the new year. We've got new intro. We had a new countdown. We're trying out some new stuff. Let me know, or let us know, what you think of the new intro, what you think of the new audio. This is also going to be something that if you are a podcast listener, if you enjoy the podcast, we have a lot of different podcast channels that we have now officially submitted our podcast to. So this will now be available not only on YouTube streaming and on Facebook and all of those places, but it will also be available on podcasts, Apple, iTunes podcasts, Prime now, I think is Audible does podcasting. It's going to be on Spotify. So we have officially sent off the submissions, and in the next couple of days, we should be seeing all of that, all those happen. So if you are a podcast, he's back. If you're a podcast listener, go ahead and start searching. You should see that in a minute. Welcome back, Cliff, the Urban Prepper. What is up, Tup? How are things?
What happened there, Hugh? I have to think. Yeah, good to see you. It's going good.
I think what happened? I think what happened. Exactly. I think what happened is this is the first time we were really close to actually starting on time. And the algorithms, the interwebs were like, no. Hold on a minute. You just calm down. You'll get there in a minute. Well, welcome back. Happy New Year. Happy 2022. We have, 2022 or 2022, depending on where you put the comma and the emphasis on the syllable. How was your New Year's?
It was really good. I didn't do much of anything. I did a lot of family time and some dinners and stuff like that. And just for the past couple of weeks, just been laying low for the most part and tried to enjoy the snow while it was here. And then not a whole bunch after that. Working on a few different videos and a few different prepping projects. That's normal stuff. So.
Yeah, I saw the Cobra Kai one come out today. You're very topical, Cliff. You're very you very much enjoy, you're very on trend. You're very topical. I love that video. If you haven't, go check out the Urban Prepper's new video.
I've been waiting for that moment to have a Cobra Kai prepping video, and it felt like that was the time to do it. So
I feel like you maybe made this video in the 80s when or 90s, whenever Karate Kid came out. You made it and then you set it aside. You're like, one day this will come back on Netflix, and then I will put this out and do it that way.
Yeah, that's basically how.
Oh, we had a couple of people from. I saw someone from California was talking about snowboarding, or talking about. Oh, I thought it was snowboarding. They said folks are still snowbound to the east. I wonder if they're as snowbound as they are in Virginia with was it 19 hours on the freeway on I-95 that I saw the other day with everyone who was stuck out there.
That's true. Oh, I was hearing about that. I don't know too much about it though.
Yeah, they were. We had friends that drove out to Bend, and they were coming over the pass, and they were stuck for, I think it was 2 hours because there was a bunch of trees that had fallen down. They were waiting for people with chainsaws to be able to help remove the trees, or people with winches to pull the trees off. Which I'm sure is a video we should have on apocalypse level snow condition things. Everyone should have a chainsaw and a Jeep with a winch or something like that. Totally. But they were talking about how it was only 2 hours there versus the people in Virginia. I want to say it was between 10 and 19 hours or something ridiculous. People were spending the night in their cars on the freeway.
That's crazy.
let's say 6 days, 6 days and counting in towns. Is this McKinsey? Is this how many people were? How long people were stuck in their houses and snowbound? Because 6 days snowbound, it sounds awful. Like the first day is maybe an adventure. This is maybe fun, but when you're heading on to a week, like that's just a
It's a
lot.
little too long. Yeah.
Welcome from the Ukraine. Hello
Wow.
from the Ukraine. That's again, we're going international. We
I like those,
we go
those
international on
Ukrainian
this.
preppers. Yeah.
Yes, there. I would imagine there are lots of Ukrainian peppers,
Yeah,
especially given what seems to be happening around the borders and things. I would not be surprised if there were a whole lot of prepping happening out in the Ukraine specifically. So let's talk about as we get off of some of the Q&A. Hello from Sacramento. We have more people from Sacramento. So let's talk about what we did last week. What were the things that you accomplished other than celebrating the end of 2021 and ringing in 2022 that you were working on last week?
Yeah. So last week, I think we talked about it in the stream where I was trying to refine my my nightstand, and I think I finally have it dialed in now. Where it's I made some minor adjustments to things, and I have have all the goodies on me that I'm working on right now. So I improved my home nightstand, my nightstand EDC. I'm not sure what to call it for that, but it has some cool little things that you should have for earthquakes and for fire and for security. And then so I worked on that. In addition to I've been trying to work on some more of the power outage illumination within the home. So trying to been ordering more of these. These are these GE batteries that basically they charge as they're in the sockets, and then if the power ever goes out, you can always just turn it on like Tesla style. And so I've been putting these in strategic lights, and so trying to improve our power outage setup for whenever that does happen. So.
Waiting for you to do a video on how you've turned your house into like on airplanes when they're like in the event of an emergency, the floor will illuminate. I'm just waiting for like the thing where you put it like inlaid it in the wood. It's on the carpet. It's on the walls, and it just points everyone to safe rooms. And
I tried to do that with our hallway, and my wife vetoed that. I don't know if that's going to happen. So
she was like, "You cannot spray paint the FEMA warnings of where people are on the walls in the house."
Yeah, I wanted those glow in the dark strips that were kind of like how the airplanes have. I wanted those on the hallway and on stairs and stuff. I thought it made a lot of sense, but sometimes we can't do everything that we want to do prepping wise, so it has to go through approval process.
I think that's a great idea, and that also seems to me like one of those projects that happens while there's your wife maybe goes to Target for a really long time, and then like while she's back, things maybe happen and she doesn't realize it until 6 months later when there's an emergency, and she's like, "Oh, what are these glow in the dark things?" And you can say, "Why? It was just a thing I did. Aren't you glad I did it?" And then she'll hit you afterwards. But you get them when you get the chance.
You're saying ask for forgiveness then after I do this, and not for permission to put on the glow in the dark strips on the staircase and on the.
Yes, if you would like, I'm going to be selling a masterclass on that as it relates to Lego buying. That's the thing. No, we don't need any more Legos. Oh, I totally understand. What are these? I'm sure they're nothing. They sound like Legos. You know what? They're probably Legos. I'm sorry about that. And then I get to go sleep in the chicken coop. But it works out. So from
what did you do last week?
What did I do? Thank you for asking, Cliff. I'm glad you asked. So last week we were kind of getting ready for the kids to go back to school. So I did a bit of a once over on the kids' backpacks and their emergency kits. Went through and just changed out batteries for their headlamps and all of that. Made sure that their little USB chargers were charged. I got some inserts for their backpacks. We had talked about those in previous streams of getting the backpack inserts, and I ordered them. They were actually pretty quick to get here. I thought they were going to be a couple of months out, and they ended up coming in like 3 to 4 weeks. So I got those, put those in the backpacks.
Nice.
So ready to go. Explained they were curious about what was going in their backpack, so I was explaining to them what it was, why we have it. When hopefully we never need to use it, but this is why we've got it. So put those in, and then yeah, and I think the next thing I've got to do is my wife, while I was doing that, asked me if I could make a second set because I've got the emergency kits right now are in pouches with a handle, and the idea is that they could kind of take it out of backpack easily and go take it to a friend's house or whatever. And we now end up more with kind of a school
Mhm.
backpack, and then they have kind of a going to the friend's house or going to lessons or whatever. There's kind of a more recreational backpack that they have. And so she was like, do you think you could make a second set of
Yeah.
emergency kits for them to go in there? And I was like, can I make a second set of emergency kits? Can I go acquire all the things to make these a second set of kits? Yeah, I think we can make that happen. So over the next couple of weeks, that's my one of my goals is to make a second set. So they've got one for school, it just stays in their school backpack. And then they got one to go more for kind of going over to friends' houses for sleepovers and all that sort of stuff.
That's it sounds like you had a real productive week, it sounds like. That sounds, really cool, and I think that the kids, like, prepping kits is, yeah, I'd like to see more videos on that kinda stuff. I wanna do a video too on that. That sounds, cool, so, because I think it's something that all parents can relate to on having that kind of emergency gear, ready to go in their backpack, so, yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
sounds like a very productive week for you, so.
We try. Do you have emergency kits for your kids
Yeah.
for school or whatever, or do they have them? I found a lot of parents they have them
Uh,
like the schools have them, and then some have extras.
yes.
Is that yeah?
Yeah,
I don't want to
at
go
our
into
school, I
specifics.
help every classroom has I not for my to bring their lunchbox, let alone like a first aid kit. But my son has an emergency kit that he does for a backpack that's for like a Boy Scout events. But each of the
Mhm.
classes, I help them put the class emergency kits together where it has different supplies in there. So it's more of like classroom kits.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, our school kind of was going back and forth on classroom kits or school kits or were they, were we going to get like a shipping container to store all of the emergency supplies and
Yeah,
everything. Um, but while they were deciding, I just went ahead and got kits, and I was like, I'm just going to have a kit so that they are familiar with it, so they know what's in it. And then right around that time was the time that we started having kids going to sleepovers, and it was like, okay, they're going to
yeah.
Sunday school. All right, now you're just taking the emergency kit everywhere, and now it becomes just a habit where it's in their backpack when they go to school. They pull it out when they get home. They put it back in their backpack when they go back to school.
How
But I
big is
think
it?
so. It's not big. They're pouches. I've probably got one around here. So I'll bring it on.
I'm taking notes on this one.
Yeah, exactly. Next week on next week's stream, I will bring the kit, but they're Maxpedition pouches, and I've tried a couple of different sizes. I want to say the beefy size is the one that I've got now. It's got a little more room in it, um, but it's great because it's got a handle on the top,
Yeah,
and so it's easy for them to just pull out of a pocket. But it's zipped. It's got some front pockets so you can put stuff in the front of it. It's got zipper pockets inside so you can keep the battery separate from the headlamp, or you can keep cash in and no one would know what was going on. So there's a lot that you can do with it. And obviously our kids go to a commuter school, so they're 15 or 20 minutes away from our house, so they can't really walk.
mhm,
It wouldn't be a walking like in an emergency. We would go walk and go pick them up, but it's kind of it wouldn't be an overnight thing. But it's okay. There's a power bar and stuff in there, so you're good for 6 to 8 to 12 hours of hanging out, and then they have a water bottle that they take with them to school, so they have that kind of covered. But it's a headlamp, it's glow stick, it's gloves. Um, there's an extra mask in there, which I put in there for dust and
yeah.
particulate for an earthquake or whatever. But now it's for everything. There's some band-aids. Um, I don't have any heavy medical stuff in there because I mean they're little, and so I don't want to.
Yeah.
They have first aid kits at the school. But in case, they had a scratch or they wanted to, some of it's about giving them the sense of control that they can participate, that they can manage it. So yeah, so anyway, awesome. So next week I'll bring it and maybe we'll do like a little tour of the kit or something or maybe I'll do a video this week.
I love it. Yeah, do a video.
Yeah. And before we go any further, if Amy Fresh has a very important thing. And I think we all need to pay attention to this. If you're watching right now, or if you're watching in the future or whatever, don't forget to smash the like button. Smash the like button for on Tup's channel, smash the like button on Cascadia Dispatch. Go to the other channel, smash that like button, whatever you want to do. But the more like button smashes we get, the more people will see this. That is kind of the minimum thing that YouTube looks at, especially with a live stream, to push it out to more people. So if you haven't already, and I see right now we have 17 or 20 or something people watching across all of our things, go ahead and hit that like button to make sure that YouTube will do it. And Amy, we appreciate it, and we love you too. We love you too. That's what it is. Also, Amy,
Amy's awesome.
Yeah. So let's talk about gear. Let's talk about the preps. The preps for me. So I'll go first with this one, and then you go, and then I'll go with you. So one of the things we were doing this week, or over the last couple of weeks, as we've been cleaning out the house and everything, we were finally doing the Goodwill runs, and we switched out all of our towels. And normally I would just save every extra towel that we have, and those would go into the prep category. But we have these really cool towels that we found for camping that are for Monster brand. I want to say that they're kind of a brand that you get on Amazon, and there's probably a bunch of different people that are private labeling it. For Monster is the one that I just Googled because it's the easiest. And they're the microfiber towels.
Yeah.
And these things fold up super small. This package is like a bath sheet size. It's huge. We have them in bath towel size. We have them in hand towel sizes. But these are so wonderful that we don't need to save every towel, because we kind of have these as like our backup towels, for camping and stuff, where you would normally use kind of that trade out the new towels and go with the old ones. So these are kind of those towels. And then we still kept probably half of the towels that we were getting rid of. But in the past, we would have probably kept all of them, and I would have squirreled them away on a shelf, and we would have waited until something, flooded or exploded or something to use them. But they would have taken up a bunch of space. And so as it is now, we got rid of a bunch of towels, we got rid of a bunch of blankets, and we've swapped them out for these microfiber towels, which are fantastic.
That sounds awesome. I have some similar ones. I don't think I have that particular brand, but something similar. So
it's the joy of buying things on Amazon. You're like, I don't think I have that brand, but I have something similar. And you're like, actually, it's probably exactly the same thing. Yeah, it's like just all private labeled and resold. Yeah. I'm realizing we have a very significant audio delay tonight.
Yeah, the audio is just it's hard to. I don't know what's going on. So
yeah,
we got the video. My 56K modem is acting up again, Esther.
You know what? We're using carrier pigeons again, and that was the problem. So, all right. So what you got? What'd you bring for show and tell?
All right. So what I brought for show and tell is the Sabre personal alarm, and it's something that joggers could have. But I've been adding it into different locations at the house for myself or for the kids. So if we have like a alarm for our alarm system in the home, but just in case anyone needed to set off a siren, that they could use one of these. It has a integrated light in it, which I don't really use, but there is a light if you want to. But it's really loud. It's like 130 decibels. Watch your ears really quick. So anyway, so it's a very
if we didn't have
loud
audio issues
that you could use.
before.
I have this for. Yeah, if you were unhappy with the audio issues previously, now there we go. So, and so I have these in different locations that the kids can now grab, and if they needed to alert for something, or if it's kind of like having a whistle, but this is a replacement for it. So this is so I'm putting these in locations over the past a few days. So, and it's
So
pretty
do you put
inexpensive.
them?
It's like $10.
So are you putting them in the same places that you have the pepper spray throughout the house, or do you put them in different
Exactly.
spots
Yeah.
because they're not
Exactly.
as um, like if the kids needed them, you maybe don't necessarily want the kids doing pepper spray, but you might want the kids to set off an alarm, sort of a situation.
Yeah, I have a few, and like in like the front door area, but right now
Cliff, I think I lost your audio again. I think our
looks like
technical
I got
difficulties.
muted
There
there
you
for a
go.
second. So
You're back. Okay.
okay,
Whatever you were saying looked very important. So let's go back and
one of these days.
fill everyone in.
Okay. Okay, so you didn't hear anything I just said?
No. We heard the second alarm, and then that was pretty much it. So yeah. Just
Oh, okay.
fill us in on the kid stuff or whatever. What this is going to be is a fantastic podcast edit where I'm actually going to get to go in and we're gonna edit a little of this stuff around a little bit maybe.
We should do like overlay that, redo the voices and try to match it up to our. What we're saying.
Or we should not. We should overlay it and make sure the voices are not like you do my voice and I would do your voice, and then we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I'll get this resolved by if it's on my end, I'll get this resolved by next week. But anyway, I was saying that I have these in locations for, like, this one is the one on my nightstand. I'm putting them in where the kids are, so if the kids need to alert and have a siren go off, that they could do that by yanking on this. So that's all I was saying previously. So,
that's cool.
It's made by Saber, and it's about $10.
Okay, so and they're not connected to your actual security system, so they're not like panic buttons.
No.
Like that. That way the kids, if they needed to, they can pull it, they can make the noise, alert everyone. But if it accidentally falls off of a nightstand or something, you're not going to have the police showing up in 30 seconds or anything.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome. Diggs BTW, our first Twitch comment. Welcome to the party. Twitch is in the house.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, we got some Twitch here. Cool.
I know we got Twitch, we got YouTube, we got Facebook, we got multiple. This is we are a multi-platform project that's going on here. I was mentioning before you got on, when we dropped you at the very beginning, it was like the intro and then Tuff had left the building and then you came back, that I actually submitted the podcast officially yesterday. So the first set of episodes all got pushed out. So we're waiting in the review, and then hopefully once everything gets through, then when we publish episodes, they'll go out the same day. But we should hear hopefully soon, and then everyone can check it out on iTunes or Spotify or Pandora or wherever they get their podcasts that they love to listen to podcasts for.
Very cool.
So now let's talk about to prep or not to prep, as we are doing 2022 and we are doing all the things. Last year was, I think, very stressful for everyone. I think, we are almost 2 years into the emergency situations that we have going on around the planet. In the middle of the big illness, we've had all kinds of wildfires and hurricanes and tornadoes and snowstorms and all that sort of stuff. At a certain point, I've heard of this kind of feeling of prepper burnout, where you're just kind of like, especially for those of us who have made it a lifestyle and we're thinking about it all the time, you almost get overwhelmed by how many things you are either preparing for, watching out for, thinking about, monitoring, all that stuff. And at a certain point, you just kind of wish almost like you didn't know. Like, can I just have like 2 days where I don't care and I don't know? And I think that becomes a real thing for people. I've seen it on some other channels, people talking about that. And so I was thinking, as we go into 2022, Are you feeling any amount of prepper burnout? Are there things and strategies that we should be doing that would kind of help to alleviate that sort of thing? What are your thoughts on that?
Uh, not as much prepper burnout. I would say that if I got burnout, it's like getting a YouTube type burnout, uh, going through the process of making the videos and stuff. So sometimes I go through related to crank out the videos, and other times where I just need to take a little break from it and just focus on other things. So uh, I'm not sure if I go through prepper burnout though, but I sometimes I know that a lot of people do, and I think that uh, the way that I try to keep prepping to be fun and do stuff that's of interest of me at that time. So oftentimes that means that sometimes I might not finish a project because I'm doing something else that gets me more energized to do. So I think if you're doing a project that you don't necessarily want to do, it's not fun to do. You're going to start experiencing burnout. But as a content creator, yeah, I go through a lot of a burnout type where I just don't want to. I want to do something because of the time that it takes for it. But I do know that a lot of people do get burnt out because I think it's because prepping is so. Uh, Oftentimes the topics are a little depressing, and it could get depressing just to be in that kind of lifestyle for a while. But I think as long as you're staying positive and having fun with things, that uh, hopefully it helps avoid going through prepper burnout.
Yeah, I think for me, I think over the last couple of years, because this has kind of been, I was kind of starting my prepper journey, my non-prepper journey, um, just in general with the earthquake, and it was still kind of it was a goal, but it wasn't a thing that was really happening at that moment. And so it was kind of a thing to think about, and there were different projects. And then I think when we got into pandemic mode, where there are shortages all the time, there's what's the new thing we need to be doing? How do we keep the kids
Mhm.
safe? How do we keep the family safe? How do we deal with extended family, like holidays? And um, I think there are lots of people that just don't care. They aren't thinking about it, and so they don't notice it. And I think it becomes really easy for people who do notice that to then take everything as a to-do item, take everything as a thing to fix. And I know for myself personally, like if someone's having a bad day, like I want to try to fix their bad day. Well, when there's been 700 and however many bad days, you're like, oh my goodness, like what is happening? So I think, to your point about trying to mix things up, that's been one of the things that I've tried to do over the last, you know, 5 or 7 years or something. But especially in the last year, has been like, okay, we're going to focus on gardening this week or for a
Yeah.
month or whatever and work on that. And then, you know what, we're going to do comm stuff and walkie talkies and radios. And then we'll do car stuff and try to kind of mix it up a little bit. So it's not always just planning out what's kind of more the logistical day to day. Hey, what grocery item is rumored to have a shortage in the next 2 weeks that we need to go out and make sure we have enough of? Or um, hey, we're going into this season and do we have enough, cough medicine for the kids? And
Yeah.
with the new some of the new mask recommendations that have come out in the last week, and it's okay, do we have enough of this type of mask? Do we need to get more of this other kind of mask? Like, what do we need to do? How do the kids go to school? So I think with some of that, there's kind of the emotional, day to day logistical thing that can be a bit of a grind, and then you kind of mix it up with some of the other stuff. So
Yeah.
I think you're onto it with the keeping it fun and keeping it light. Um, so as we head into the close questions, I did see fine Amy Fresh had a question that I thought would be great to kind of wrap us up with. So Amy's supposed to head back to the office. We know that people are starting
Mhm.
to go back to the office more and more and more. And so, what kind of updates do you suggest for an adult emergency office kit? I think kind of along the lines of the kids' office kit. Cliff, I know you've made videos in the past on your office kits and your office, I think it was office evacuation kit specifically.
Yep.
I know we've all had get home bag videos and things like that. So what do you think? You go first.
Yeah, so for me, what I've been doing lately, I'm trying to see if I have the kit here. I think it's downstairs actually. I've been going for a smaller setup for my office kits compared to previous years. Previous years, I was using a larger backpack. Now I use a smaller sling bag that has a very slim profile first aid kit and other emergency supplies to it. But yeah, I have a video on that one that's called my everyday commuter kit. I think is what that one is. And then what I also do is I have a in at my desk at work. I have a building evacuation kit. It's actually here right now, but been in the office for a while. But that building evacuation kit has supplies that I would need if the building was on lockdown or if there's an earthquake or I had to be of multiple days. So that's a whole separate kit that's in a I have it in a travel on suitcase that you would bring with you on an airplane. And it looks pretty natural in the office because a lot of people travel. And so I could just leave that there, all of those supplies in it. And then for just normal everyday purposes, I go with a small Vertex commuter sling bag and try to keep everything fairly small and lightweight. And that's just what I'm doing right now. I've previous years I've gone with more of a heavyweight backpack, but right now I'm just going for quick and compact.
Yeah. Do you have a bump one of those bump caps in your evacuation kit?
In the building event right now, I have a construction hat, so I'm going
Oh
I'm
yeah, is
going
that
full
the thing
prepper on it. So
where you did you have the thing where you had it underneath your desk where there was like you had like a
yes,
mount or a magnet or something that it was
exactly,
underneath your desk?
exactly.
That was a
Yes,
fantastic video.
because
I took
if there's
many
an
notes from
earthquake,
that back in the day.
if there's an earthquake, you go under your desk, and then if you come out, you have your hard hat on you, so it's ready to go. So
What I enjoy about you so much is the logic in all of this. It's just fantastic. It's just fantastic.
oh, cool.
So for me, I've actually been working from home for the last 7 or 8 years. And what's funny to
Wow.
me is my whole kind of prepping journey came out of working from home and then traveling to clients. Whereas before I worked for a very large shoe company that is located in my general area. I have shoes over there that are like that. But so I used to work there and didn't really think about earthquakes or, fire drills or any of that sort of stuff. But as soon as I was not and I was working from home, then all of a sudden I'm thinking about evacuations, all this sort of stuff. So for me, when I've had to go and work at offices, if I'm working for a client and I'm on site for 3 months or 6 months or something, um, I have more of a travel setup because I'm not going to be there the whole time. I don't want to leave a big bag anywhere. So I try to take my laptop bag, and I've done a couple of videos on my laptop, kind of
Mhm.
my laptop EDC of keeping things like some extra food. I keep an extra water bottle in the pouches so that it's more for me of a get home style bag. And then I tend to keep additional supplies in my car. And then I keep my car parked away from overpasses and things. So, for example, instead of parking in a parking garage that's covered, that in an earthquake or something might collapse or have damage or something, I'll use an open air parking lot. And then hopefully, nothing falls on it and I can get to it. And then I've got additional supplies, boots and that sort of stuff that I wouldn't want to keep in a laptop bag, but also would look weird if I walk into a client and you're dressed up and then you have like a suitcase or a duffel bag with boots and all that kind of stuff would just look a little odd for me in my
Yeah.
profession. So I try to kind of use those two in tandem, and then usually I'm only 25 or 30 minutes away driving distance from my house. So, it would be a 3 or 4 hour walk, but I could kind of get back that way.
Cool.
Uh, so yeah, but I need to add the helmet somewhere. I don't have a helmet in my car, and I don't have one in my laptop bag. So I need to come up with something there. Maybe bump caps. We'll see what
Well, I
happens.
think yeah, I don't think you need a helmet everywhere, but in certain locations where you can have a helmet, I think it's nice. Like I'm always worried evacuate a building that some brick's going to land on my head or something, and so that's why I have
Yeah.
it. But I think the bump cap works really well for normal like everyday purposes. So.
It is a fantastic thing, and I think we have hard hats in our garage with a lot of the emergency equipment. If we ever had to grab and go, we just open up the garage door and everything is ready to go in the cars. But I think adding, we just added helmets to our kids' emergency kind of nightstand kits. And I think that I was realizing, I was like, we don't have hard hats for us in our nightstand emergency kits. So that is something that I'm sure Amazon will be delivering shortly. I can just sense my wife watching this stream and typing the comment of no, please don't, please stop. But yeah, I think those will probably be an Amazon list here pretty quickly. So,
Nice.
well, all right. Well, I think with that, we're a little over for the half hour, but I think we packed a lot in.
Our TV sitcom time.
Yeah, exactly. I think we made it work out. Thanks everybody for joining us. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to Urban Prepper's channel. I would appreciate it if you subscribe to Cascadia Dispatch. That would be very nice of you. Don't forget to hit the like button on everything to get this out. Share, let everybody know. This is a little different format than I think what most prepper channels or non-prepper channels are doing with this kind of podcast sort of feel. So if you know someone who might enjoy it, let them know, share it out. Keep an eye out for the podcast, which will be coming out hopefully here in the next couple of days. We'll have notice, and I'm sure we'll start posting it everywhere. But keep an eye out. And until next time, we'll see you next week.
See you later.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.